Greetings from the campus of Piedmont College. I'm Ashley Clear, Chaplain and Director of Church Relations. During the last 2 decades, more than 50 students from Congregational and UCC churches around the country have received grants from Piedmont College. In 1994, Nickerson Congregational Heritage Scholarships were established to encourage students from around the country to choose to attend a comprehensive liberal arts college in Demorest, Georgia. To introduce you to Piedmont, several Nickerson scholars offered to reflect on their experiences.
When I started my journey for looking for a college that would suit not only my interest, but I wanted some place that would really challenge me, that would take me out of a comfort zone and put me into, totally immerse me in a different challenge.
Piedmont stood out partly because I knew that with the small classroom sizes, I'd be able to interact with the professors. I wouldn't just be a number. Piedmont also stood out because of its beauty, and we knew under good leadership it was heading in a great direction. I remember we were told about all the plans which have now come to fruition.
There are times for me that I always think back to Piedmont on it's the people that make Piedmont. I feel like Dr. Lytles and the Barbara Brown Taylors and the even the security guard Bruce, that make Piedmont what it is.
The faculty there challenged the way that I approach the world and my worldview, and taught me really how to think and how to be strategic and how to operate in the world beyond what was around me.
I grew up in a small town and I went to a really small high school. So visiting Piedmont, it kind of continued that really homey, really nice, everybody knows you and you didn't feel like you were this tiny little person in this big pool of people.
I wanted a cultural experience because I'd spent my whole life in the North, and I'd heard about Southerners, but I'd never actually met one.
A lot of universities have a fast-paced environment, and Piedmont didn't have that. And for someone who came from a very sheltered place, I lived on an island, so it was needing to get out into the world, but slowly integrate myself into a different culture.
And for a kid who grew up in a rough part of Los Angeles, moving all the way across the country to a place like Piedmont in the beautiful mountains of Georgia was a big difference, but it's actually one of the most positive memories that I had.
What I really took from it was that I know my professors extremely well, and it was about 10 to 20 students per class, and I often stayed after and talked with my professors for hours, and that's something very unique, and I still appreciate that.
At Piedmont, I was able to really build myself as an artist. I went for a fine art degree, and just the teachers and the space that we were given, it was just very hands-on, and I grew hugely as an artist.
When I was at Piedmont, I made some of the best friendships that I've had for years. In fact, I'm doing a business deal with another Piedmont grad coming up in a few months, and we've stayed close since graduation. One of the gentlemen that I met in college was my best man at my wedding. So I've got a lot of great memories of relationships built.
The impact that the Nickerson Scholarship had for me was that it allowed me to be able to have an education and start out in life without the debt that a lot of youth have these days.
Piedmont gives an excellent education, and you'll have significantly less student debt. I came out with essentially no student debt, which is pretty rare these days.
So part of that scholarship allowed me to explore a different environment.
Junior year of college, high school, I heard about Piedmont, and I guess the Nickerson Scholarship was able to help me make that decision that Piedmont was for me.
When we grew up, we didn't have much money, so college actually wasn't an option for me until I found out about the fact that I could get a scholarship to Piedmont. So in that sense, I absolutely chose Piedmont because it was a great opportunity, but more so than not, they chose me.
After graduating, I spent quite a bit of time traveling and was able to get a job at an international school in Beirut, Lebanon. And I taught there for a few years, a lot of ambassadors' kids. It was a great experience. I got to teach history, and that was my degree from Piedmont.
I actually have gone back to school for graphic design, and because of my foundation with fine art, I've actually, graphic design has come more easily than other students, and it's really just kind of complemented my art degree.
Since graduating from Piedmont, I've done a number of things. I currently am vice president at a firm called Russ Reed. We're the nation's largest marketing firm that serves nonprofits. So what I get to do every day is give back.
Geographically, graduating from Piedmont, we were able to hike from Georgia to Maine, and through that, learn that we were going to be together forever. And since then, I've gone to hike the rim to rim for the Grand Canyon, then Zion, hiked in New Zealand, just got back from Scotland.
Piedmont kind of gave me the luxury to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do. It didn't limit me to my degree.
Piedmont really allowed us to
Build the base.
To grow and build a base and really give us the skills that we need to, have a good job and know what to do and really work hard to be able to do the things that we want to do.
Recently, we dramatically increased scholarship amounts. Students whose high school grade point average is 3.4 or above will be awarded a scholarship for 100% of tuition. Those with a GPA between 3.0 and 3.399 will receive an award for over 75% of tuition. We invite local churches to join us in the quest to find students who will advance the congregational legacy on campus. If you know someone in an NACCC or UCC congregation who is looking for a college where ideas matter and individual attention is a priority, please remember that Nickerson Congregational Heritage Scholarships make a quality education accessible.